Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 204 of Photo Critiques. And in this episode, I'm pleased to critique the work of Colleen Legree. Colleen sent me in some real nice images, and I think most of them were done with a point and shoot. But Colleen did a really nice job. This first one, I like the diagonal line you have going through here of the railing coming through the shot. The processing's nice, nice clouds. Now it's a point and shoot camera, so the resolution isn't that super great. It's not very resolute, even though it probably has a lot of megapixels on the sensor. It's just the lens isn't good enough like a DSLR to give you a lot of resolution. But you did a nice job. What the shot is missing though is a strong subject. This is kind of like the backdrop, and we really need something else in this shot. A canoe, a boat coming down here, some birds maybe lined up on the railing, somebody rollerblading down here, something else to add some interest. It's a nice shot, kind of a dusk dark shot I call these, where it's just about not quite totally dark yet, but pretty much there. And it's a nice shot. Again, it's not super resolute. ISO 400 on a point and shoot camera, you can see there's a lot of noise in the shot, so it takes down a lot of the resolution. This is a nice shot too. The lighting was a little bit harsh, but you did a really nice job of getting an angle where most of these flowers were in shade. So it's a really nice, way to work the scene to get the shot to come out without any harsh light or minimal amount of harsh light in the shot. So you did a really nice job. Again, because it's a point and shoot, we don't have super high resolution, so a lot of these little bits in here are kind of all blended together. There's a little bit of uniform noise going through the shot. With a DSLR, you could have made the flowers probably pop a lot more off the page, or in this case, off the screen. This is, the shot from before the same scene, I think, as we have this gate here. Again, though, the cloud's interesting you have here, but we don't have really a strong subject. We need something else in the shot to kind of push it over the top. This is all a nice backdrop. Nice backdrop. We need something else in the shot. This is a selective color shot. I like what you did here. I would have preferred though that this flower be tilted more so the color is facing us. It's kind of facing away. Another thing too, when you photograph flowers and that, try to avoid wilted ones or ones that are on their way dead. If you had a really fresh looking flower here, and it be cut off, but have it really fresh and it pointed towards the camera, I think it would have been a really strong shot. Another thing too, in a shot like this, pay attention to the rule of thirds or the golden ratio, something like that, and put this part of the flower right in between two intersection points. So when you're using rule of thirds, it could be over here, over here, over here, over here, something like that. It's a nice shot. I like this a lot. We have persons down here, so it adds some intrigue as we're looking through the shot, and our eyes are being led through the shot. And it's really nice. I think it's a very nice image. Light wasn't that great, but you did a nice job with the shot itself. It's an interesting shot. Again, we have kind of harsh light. You can see how it's kind of filtering through these trees, and we're getting some harsh shadows and light over here. Some harsh light on the water. Again, it's kind of neat having this kind of mist here, but there still isn't a super strong subject. So keep that in mind. We need something else in the shot. This would be a nice backdrop if there was birds in the water, if there was a canoe in the water, if there was someone swimming, something else. It's a nice shot. The color here, with the water behind it. Again, with the point and shoot, it's not as resolute as you could have made it with a DSLR. But I like the composition. I like the idea that you were going for. This is a really small image here. Nice leading line here. It's a very nice fall colors. It's a nice shot. Again, I think I'd rather have something else in the shot, someone walking through the path. I was just recently looking through Arizona magazine. I think it's called Arizona magazine. It's a travel magazine for the state of Arizona, and it was amazing. Just about every single photograph had a person in the shot. And let's say this is like for a travel magazine for New England right here, or some parks in New England or something like that. Something that would have trees like this. It would have, if this was in that magazine, it would have people on this path. doing something, rollerblading, walking along hand in hand, whatever. They'd be in this shot. I noticed that I often will go to the supermarket with my wife, and while she takes forever to shop, but that's another story, I will stand by the magazines and I look through the magazines, and I, of course, look at the photography in the magazines. And I look at all the travel magazines I could look at. And I've noticed that usually the first shot in an article will not have people in it. But every shot after that in the article will have people in it. So it's like 70% of the shots, maybe more, have people in it. And the cover doesn't always have people in it. So it's kind of an odd thing I noticed. And so what I'm getting at is when you take these types of shots, you're in this situation, take a shot like this without any people in it. But then take it again with people in it. And then in the future, if you ever want to sell your work to magazines or to stock photos, you have both images available, with people and without people. And you're going to find that the shots with people will probably sell a little bit more. This shot here, I know you were trying for slow, like a long exposure here, and I think this might have been a DSLR here, but really the 1/30th of a second wasn't long enough. We really need it longer. The composition itself too is a little awkward. It's not balanced with this clump of leaves here. It just doesn't look right. So this is another one where you work the scene in. You might need to get an ND filter to get these longer exposures to really make the water look smooth and look, like that kind of silky look that you get with the water when you use very long exposures. So that's something to look to. Check out ND filters, neutral density filters. This shot here, I like. It's kind of dark, but it's nice because it sets off the little droplets of water. So it's pretty cool. I like this shot a lot. Again, this looks like now we're in a DSLR here, and you did a nice job with getting this really busy scene blurred out in the background, and it makes the subject pop out of the scene better. This shot here is interesting. This is back to the point and shoot again, and you could see the difference, how it's just not as resolute as the other images. It's just kind of a little blurry, not so much blurry, I guess, but it's just not as resolved as like a DSLR shot. But you did a nice job. We got this diagonal line coming through of the dock, or the pier, I guess you call it, coming through the ice, or the hockey nets under the pier. Pretty interesting. Add some interest to the shot. That's kind of the subject, So it's a nice job. This shot here, again, it's kind of, we got clumps of ice, here, but it's still kind of missing that strong subject. And we have these, looks like Christmas decorations, garland or wreaths or something on the edge here that are barely in the shot, which kind of draw your attention away from over here. We're going, what are those, So we either have to make this more dominant in the shot, or we have to eliminate it completely from the shot. So you kind of like kind of hinting where the viewer should look. Sometimes photography is like you're writing a mystery novel, where you have to give little breadcrumbs in the shot to lead the person through the shot, to get them to look where you want them to look. And you don't want any stray breadcrumbs, because it just makes it a little too confusing for the viewer, and then their eyes just start darting around all over the shot, and they don't really resolve on anything, and it's not as satisfying for the viewer. And it's the whole point of our photography. We want the viewer to be satisfied when they look at it. And I mentioned this before, we don't want them generally, if possible, we don't want them to think much. We want them to just feel something when they view the shot. This is a really nice shot. I like this. Just the new snow on these leaves. Pretty well done. It's nice blurred out background. It's hard to photograph snow and get the resolution in the snow. It all blurs together sometimes, but you did a nice job. It's a really cool shot. I like the composition too. It's balanced. Where these, kind of just balance the entire scene. As I mentioned before, I'm not a big fan of shooting up at buildings, although I've done it and I still do it, and I probably have dozens of these shots in my library. I'm just not a big fan of it. Now, a couple things. When you do it, you want to make sure that if you have words, letters, signs, billboards, you want to get it all in. You don't want people to work to read the letters or missing letters or anything like that. And, we could read that this is Chase. It's a little bit cut off, so it's not that big of a deal. But, if you were in such an angle here and we were cutting off the C and the H or something like that, that you don't want that. You want to get all of it in or none of it in. The scene itself, you kind of just about cut off part of the antennas that are on top of this building here. So you want to give a little more space so you're not cutting anything off, nothing is running off the page. We have this building bleeding in over here, so you really don't want that either. So you just want to do these two buildings. You're going to move further to your left, point your camera a little higher so you don't cut this one so close, and I think you'd have a perfect shot then. I think that's the last one. Yep, that's it. Colleen, thank you very much for sharing your work with us. I really do appreciate it. And guys, I'd like to thank everyone for watching all my videos. I really do appreciate it. And I got like just the most fantastic email today from someone thanking me for the videos and stuff, and it really warms my heart. It really does. Thank you very much, everyone. I really do appreciate everyone's kind support. And that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.